Is the Greater Corporation, Chennai Greater Corporation, all ready to say that it's not going to repeat the mistakes that one had to encounter just a few months ago?
I would say no. Uh, the Greater Chennai Corporation had a very large size of experience in the 2015 floods when
Right.
they actually identified over 90 plus stormwater drains to be worked at. And they also started working on it then. And there has not been proper maintenance of any of those rebuilt and newly built stormwater drains. And I'm aware that there are a lot of encroachments on stormwater drains in northwestern part of Chennai. Um, and in some places, they say that even the corporation councillors have mentioned that the stormwater drains have been connected to the main drain line of the Buckingham Canal. Uh, though the corporation claims that about 92% of the stormwater drain work has been complete, it is completely false. That about one phase of the stormwater drain work is yet to take off, and several parts of the city, in several wards, essential heavy equipments which are necessary for desilting the canals haven't even been purchased, and yet they claim that work has been done and they are prepared.
Well, very well said, Badrinarayanan. I mean, you actually, what I had feared, it's come true, because every time this is the story, certain localities suffer a lot. Not Chennai suffers a lot. Mylapore has suffered. Velachery is people who live there, and my relatives, they say it's a nightmare, rains after rains after rains. Tell me something. Some of them also have said that if you have to clear an SWD, which is a stormwater drain, apparently they get, suction pumps, or they get tractors and everything, which puts more pressure on the roads and on the people. Would you agree, Badrinarayan? And let's make it more people oriented, as it was, so that they understand.
So the heavy equipments that were supposed to be purchased is not just the tractors and the pumps. There are also amphibian vehicles which were to be purchased. But to my knowledge, the tender hasn't gone through even after 3 months of wait yet. And so since they don't have these sufficient number of amphibian vehicles, they are put to a position where they have to use tractors as amphibian vehicles, which aren't that much performant either. So they are doing a half-baked job of desilting using tractors, and the suction pumps are all minor, just terminologies that they
All
use
right.
to fool
Okay.
the people.
We see Mr. Stalin and Udayanidhi Stalin, going for midnight checks and saying everything is so perfect. This time around, we are not going to have any problems. Well, politicians shall always be like that. They speak in folk tongues. But I'm going to ask you, is there a day when, because see, it's, if you lack experience, sure, you can learn, as you move on. But how much of an experience does Greater Chennai Corporation need? This happens every season of the monsoon. We just saw what happened. People were on the streets, they were crying, they were saying, look at this, boats were out, NDRF, SDRF, everyone was out. 2015, we all remember. And after that, also subsequently, although the damage wasn't so great, but then the same kind of desperation comes to the fore. What is the problem, Badri Narayanan? Is it funds? Is it political will? Or is it just it's unmanageable for they are simply inefficient?
So it's all three put together actually,
Okay.
because their inefficiency is the primary thing, and despite having immense experience, they do not get the funds on the right time to procure the right equipment before the right disaster. So even if they get those equipments now after the floods, it's no point. It's just going to do some little bit of maintenance work after the disaster is
All
over.
right, Badri, I
So
also want to ask you that what about the ponds that the Greater Chennai Corporation has created? Any comments on that? Apparently, it's a innovation. It's something which is new. Do you think that it works or it's counterproductive, Badri Narayanan?
So it's actually funny because amount of water bodies that Chennai had
True.
in 1960s. has actually reduced, and there's no point creating smaller ponds to save this water. So the existing water bodies is something that they have to maintain. I am aware of a order of the Green Tribunal where they said they have to restore the size of the lagoon in Villivakam, but they haven't done that yet. So otherwise the lagoon would be about 4 times its size than what it is presently. They don't maintain the existing water bodies, yet they want to create new ones.
All right. I mean, so I want to ask you, Badri Narayanan, that you know, if there are activists there, there are lots of people who work on this. But the point of the matter is that I don't think that this really is right on top for the politicians to solve. They don't care. They are only bothered about when will they get votes, what about caste, what about other things, new politician entering. This has never found, kind of credence with the politicians in Tamil Nadu. Would you agree?
I definitely agree because any of these politicians take disasters as an opportunity to claim more funds from the central government. Other than that, I don't think they are interested in actually mitigating it.
All right.
Post management of the disaster is one thing.
All right. So, I also want to ask you that is there any way that you, as somebody who's very well known, to work out and to be a stakeholder, citizens' participation in seeing that people don't suffer? Because in Chennai, people have started stocking up. They've started stocking up milk and essentials, like bread and everything, children's milk food, everything. Is there any which way that one can possibly, solve this, Badrinarayan, and give us some hope?
But it is not an instant solution. The citizens have to work along with the government, clear up some of the slums which are on the banks of the existing water bodies like Kuvam, Madayar, and Posasthalayar, and that is essential to make the water body little wider, and that will help drain faster. So that the water logging is okay, flooding is not. So we can prevent floods by actually cleaning up some of the mistakes from the citizen side.